Okay, hello everyone. I hope you're doing well on this fabulous Wednesday. All right, so today we are going to learn about writing equations of lines, specifically in slope-intercept form. We're going to see some relationships that we just studied, like the parallel lines, perpendicular lines relationships, and we're also going to review intercepts. So I want you to look at these warm-up questions and think about them. What is always true about a point on the x-axis? So, think about that. I draw myself a picture. This is my x-axis. So let's see here. If I have a point on my x-axis, isn't it true that it does not go up or down? So, it does not go up or down. So then wouldn't that mean that y was equal to 0? So if this, for instance, is right here, then that point is over 1 up 0. Whereas if I have a point over here, it still did not go up at all. It went left 4. So that's obviously talking about x-intercepts. So then for our second question here, what then would always be true about a point on the y-axis? So again, I'm going to draw myself a picture. Let's see. The y-axis is this one. So a point on the y-axis, it did go up or down, but didn't it not go left or right? So it does not go left or right. So then by default, doesn't that mean x is 0? So anytime we are on the y-axis, my x value is 0, but my y value reflects how much I went up or down. So if I had a point down here, my x value is 0, my y value is -3. All right, so that's just a quick review of intercepts. All right, so I'm thinking on 3-4, worksheet 3-4, we talked about slope. And let's recall, what do we know about the slope of parallel lines? Well, if they're parallel, they never touch each other. Well, how would that be possible? It's possible because their slopes are equal. So then perpendicular lines are obviously different. Their slopes are different in 2 ways. First, they are opposite in sign. And secondly, they are reciprocals of each other. So, we are going to use these concepts today, because what if I want you to give me an equation of a line, and I say, hey, I want this equation to be parallel to some other line. If I say that, I'm secretly giving you information about the slope of that line. I'm saying, hey, if I want it to be parallel to this line, then you need to use the slope, the same slope. All right, so slope-intercept form. This is something that you should have seen before. Y equals mx plus b. All right, so let's define these parts and pieces. So right here, this is our m, which is our slope. And so slope, we talked about yesterday, is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And then this right here is our y-intercept. That's my shorthand for y-intercept. Now, a y-intercept is usually just a number. You can kind of see it here. But we also think of an intercept as a ordered pair. I guess that would be n ordered pair. And so if it is a y-intercept, as we just talked about in the warm-up, let's see, we went up and down, but we did not go side to side. So it's going to look something like this, and you're going to end up putting a number right there. All right, so let's practice this. Give the slope in the ordered pair, so that's important there, ordered pair for the y-intercept. Let's see, slope for this is 3. And the y-intercept is at -2, so technically you go left or right 0, but you go down 2. Ooh, this next one, B, is kind of tricky. There is a 1 being multiplied by that x, and we are adding nothing. So that's kind of a curveball problem. That means that our slope is 1, and our y-intercept is actually at 0, 0. So it's at the origin. Part C is not in the right form. Look at that. It's totally different than y equals mx plus b. So you have to rearrange this. Now we're going to talk about this form over the next couple days, so you're going to see it a lot more. Right now we need to rearrange it so that the y is by itself. So we would subtract that over. We would have 3y is equal to -2x plus 15. And let's see if I can scroll us down here. And from here, I'm going to divide by 3, divide by 3, divide by 3. So y is -2/3 x plus 5. Now I am in y equals mx plus b form. Here is my slope of -2/3. And this is my y-intercept. And if I write it as an ordered pair, I go left and right nothing, but I go up 5. All right. So what you're going to see today is bits and pieces of information, and you are meant to take those bits and pieces of information and put them into an equation of a line. And specifically today, it will say, put the line in slope intercept form. So that is y equals mx plus b. So in order to do that, let's think about what we need. We need slope. So I'm either going to tell you slope, or I'm going to give you enough information to find it. The other thing we need is we need our y-intercept. Now again, I might just give that to you, in which case this is an easy problem. But if I don't give that to you, I have to give you enough information to figure it out. So let's see what you might have to do if I don't just give it to you. I think number 1's easy. Number 1, I gave it to you. Slope is -3, y-intercept is 6, so our equation would be -3x plus 6. Done and done. Now, for number 2, I say parallel to. This is clever. Parallel to is telling you about slope. Telling you about slope. This is important. When you see a word like that, you need to know that what I've done is I've told you about slope. I basically have given you the slope. Because if I want it to be parallel to this, that means the slope has to be 2. Now, it does say through the point 0,5. Well, doesn't this happen to be a y-intercept? It's just a y-intercept in disguise. So this problem isn't really that much harder than problem number 1, but it is disguised by all the words. So the answer here is y equals 2x plus 5. All right, so then let's see here. Number 3. Perpendicular. So we're giving an equation of a line that is perpendicular to this. So again, this is information about slope. Now, it's not quite as easy as the other one because this one says perpendicular to. So if we had a given slope, in this case, the given slope is 3/8. Then the perpendicular slope has to have that special slope relationship. So think about what that's going to be. If it has to be perpendicular, there's 2 things different. So it has to be opposite in sign, and then it has to be the reciprocal. So that means this is the slope I need to use. So let's write down what we have so far. Equation of a line, y equals mx plus b. So y is equal to negative 8/3 x plus b. Okay, well, that's kind of right. But don't you see 3 variables? There's a y, there's an x, and there's a b. We need to find b. I didn't give it to you this time, right? This is a random point. This is not b. But you know what that point is? That point is going to help us, because I always told you, as I told you, I would always give you enough information to figure it out. What this is this is an x value and a y value. And if that point is on the line, then I could kind of work backwards to find b. So I'm going to plug those values in. So I'm going to put them in here, and I'm going to put them in here. And then your only variable will be the b. So let's see how that ends up looking. I'm going to have a 1 equals negative 8/3 multiplied by a 4 plus a b. Okay, let's see. 1 is equal to, this is like a 4 over a 1, so what does this give me? Negative 32/3 plus b. Oh, Schumann, why? Why do we have to deal with fractions? All right, so we do have to deal with fractions. I am going to add 32/3 over. So I'm going to have 1 plus 32/3. Now, isn't a 1 the same as 3/3? So 3/3 plus 32/3 is 35/3. Awesome. We just found b. It's not very pretty, but we found it. So I think we have our final answer. Let's see. We've got slope right here. We've got b right here. So our result is y equals negative 8/3 x plus 35/3. If you can follow that problem and do that problem, you can do any problem coming your way. So let's see. Write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. Number 4, the y-intercept is -2. Oh, hallelujah. We got our y-intercept. So that's b. And it goes through this point. Oh, so I have b this time. What do I not have? I don't have slope. So I need slope. Okay, so here's what I get so far. Y is equal to mx minus 2, because I got the b. Now, I need to find slope. Slope is going to come from our slope equation, or it could come from plugging in these points. So I've got a point right here. So I have an x value, and I have a y value. So why don't we just take those, and I'm going to put that right here, and then I'm going to put that right here, and notice that the only variable left over is m. All right, so I will end up getting 1 equals m times 3 minus 2, which gives me 1 equals 3m minus 2. I could add 2 to the other side, and I get 3 equals 3m. Divide by 3, divide by 3. M is 1. Yay! I think I have my answer now. Y is equal to 1x minus 2. And that is the equation of the line. All right, and this last one, it passes through 2, 5, and 1, -2. Oh boy. What do we need? We need slope. I did not give it to you. So we need slope. And we also need the y-intercept, because I did not give that to you either. So we got some work to do on this one. First, let's do slope. Slope calculation. Change in y over change in x. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 is going to give me -7 over -1. So my slope is 7. Awesome. So then I could do this. Y is 7x plus b. And now I can go back and I can figure out what b is. And I'm going to use one of these points that was given to me to figure out. I'm going to replace that y with a number. I'm going to replace that x with a number. And then that b will be our only variable. So I'm going to use this point here. So y is going to get replaced with 5. X is going to get replaced with 2. So let's try this out. We've got now 5 equal to 7 times 2 plus b, which means 5 equals 14 plus b minus your 14. And we've got -9 equals b. Awesome. We got our two pieces. Took a little work, but we got them. So the equation of our line is y equals 7x minus 9. And there is your equation of your line. Okay, I want you to think about these stretch questions on your worksheet, and we will discuss these when we get back together on Friday, but I want you to think about the fact that this line doesn't look like y equals mx plus b. So do you know the slope? Think about that. Then also, what would be the slope of a line perpendicular to that line? And lastly, give the ordered pairs for the y-intercept and the x-intercept for the line 2x minus 3y equals 12. So think about those questions. If you can answer those, then give yourself a pat on the back. And if you can't, come with questions about them on Friday. All right, thank you very much for paying attention, and I will see you soon. Bye now.